Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley here with a special guest. And typically we'll have a coach's corner, but now we are joined by El Presidente of the Class B in Youngstown, Ohio, in Cene Park. It's my good friend, Scott Ruark. Scott, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing okay, DJ. How are you?
I'm doing well. How has COVID affected you personally? Hoping the family's okay.
Thank God. Yeah, everybody has been safe. We're doing the at home, stay at home thing, and it's feels like Groundhog Day. You do the same thing over and over and over, but we're getting used to it. A lot of good things come out about it. You get closer with the family and everything else. Because by this time, I'm running in 10 different places. So
That's it, brother. And the reality is I'm sure you have been contacted by several people. You're probably tired of answering the phone, and we're tired of being asked about it. So it's a great thing that we're together talking about the plan for Class B. So first, I want to start off by asking you, what's the effects on summer ball, and especially from the standpoint of COVID-19, how it's kind of changed things up for you?
well, it's really it's turned things around for us. We were supposed to start. We had opening day for the 14-year-olds in 9 days from today, which would have been next Sunday, the 10th of May, and we were looking forward to it. And we have suspended our season to June 1st right now because the at-home orders have been in effect through the month of May, and we're going to do everything we can for the community, and we're going to do everything we can to have baseball. But that being said, we are going to listen to Governor DeWine.
So what does that look like from your opinion? Is that, I mean, you're going to have to figure out what that looks like from what you guys' standpoint as well. But obviously, governor's orders come first. What has been the talks of Class B and how you can execute and still have baseball live at Cene Park this summer?
Well, one of the things that we've already talked about, I've talked to a lot of different people throughout the league, and one thing we talked about was nixing tournaments, playing a regular season, all depending on when we were able to get started. We were going to give the teams, like a week to prepare, and then come out and start play. Because right now, I mean, really, unless they're doing it individually, which I would say probably 80% of our kids are doing something. I think they're throwing a baseball, they're probably hitting a baseball, they're doing something during this time on their own. But we would like to get them together as a team, give them about a week, and then get out onto the field. Now, will that be with spectators? Will it be without spectators? I guess that's the underlying question to a lot of different things we have.
So when you saw the order come down from the OHSAA saying they're nixing the entire spring season, did that speed up your process? Did that change anything that you guys had that you were talking about, or is it business as usual and we had a plan moving forward regardless of the OHSAA season?
Well, I think we had an idea. That school was going to be closed for the rest of the year, and then with that idea, you kind of put two and two together, and you really probably are not going to have baseball, because it's hard to play a sport while you're not in school. So our first thoughts were, we have to get some contingency plans in place, and we did. We were going to have a conference call with all the franchise holders and let them know what we were going to do. But it was real simple. On Monday, when they came out and said they were going to extend the at-home orders, we didn't even have a conference call. I sent out an email and we put on our Twitter page that the Class B league is suspended. All the schedules are going to be revised until at least June 1st, right?
Is it a situation where you can extend the schedule a little bit further into the summer, or are you going to have to play a modified schedule with a mixed amount of games?
Well, we've talked about that also. We've talked about moving it into August, playing some baseball in August. And all dependent on when we're able to get going. If we are able to get going at some point in time, we will be able to have a good idea on where we're at with how many games are going to be able to be played, because OHSAA came down and now no school facilities are going to be open until July 1st. Well, we use some school facilities as backup fields, extra fields, whatever we need. So that's going to put a damper on a lot of things, because I'm not just worried about the 18-year-old league, Class B, Big B, Little B. I got to worry about all 20 teams. I got to get all 20 teams to be able to play.
So when you look at the opportunity for a regular season, we talked about there might be modifications during it. Typically in Class B and Big B, essentially, you have 10 teams or 9 teams like last year. Would there be a possibility to open the doors to, let's say, community ball teams or travel ball teams that don't have a home or people to play this summer, to make kind of a olive branch, I would say, and really get more competitive as a whole at Cene Park?
Well, that's a great question, because I've gotten phone calls from different teams, and because of our bylaws of the Class B League, our franchise limit is 10.
Okay.
And we're not going to overextend ourselves to any more. Now, the other issue comes in, you have a lot of kids over in the Pennsylvania area, right on the border, that, Legion Ball a long time ago came out and said there's going to be no Legion baseball for the whole summer. So, I'm getting flooded with a lot of phone calls asking, hey, do you have room on your team, or do you know of anybody that has room? And these are really good baseball players. I mean, that could help out the league. The only thing I'm worried about is a lot of the teams are already set with the rosters. And, because a lot of teams went at it in November, December, January, and they were really getting going, getting ready for the season.
Naturally, one of the questions you're going to get is, what's the plan for social distancing from, the player standpoint, the spectator standpoint? What plans do you have in place to keep people 6 feet and above away from each other?
Well, right now, we really don't have a plan in place on that. That's going to be a very difficult situation because of the amount of room that we have in a dugout. I think the easier place to get this done is probably with the fans, because I think the fans are going to do it on their own,
Right.
kind of deal. And if we are able to get back, we'll be putting signs up if that's what's necessary. But it's going to be hard in the dugouts, and that's why I think OHSAA and a lot of other groups have really thought about it. And because a lot of people think, you're baseball, you're outside, you're not really close to a lot of people during the game, but you are in that dugout. I mean, you're right next to one another, and until that social distancing, and I think that's probably one of the Governor DeWine's main issues of not getting the parks, citywide parks, up and going, is because that social distancing is really tough to abide by.
Now, people say it's as easy as separating the players and the pitchers. I mean, I think there's a little bit more to that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, there's a lot more, because in a game, there's you're constantly talking to kids. I mean, as a manager, I know I'm not just sitting there. Most of the time I am, but you are engaging with the teammates, and you're trying to devise a plan or in place and everything for them to succeed, and they're talking to one another, and getting close. It's going to be tough. It is, and I think we're going to see that throughout the country. I just got an email probably literally 5 minutes ago that Prep Baseball Report, which is one of the largest things that are going on now in Ohio, with their evaluating of kids and everything, and they've their tournaments are done through June. So.
Yeah, I guess it'd be interesting from my standpoint. I was a catcher. You're a coach. I mean, mound meetings would be really interesting with a pitcher, knowing that the third base coach and the first base coach can probably hear you as well as the pitcher would.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't get close. You can still cover up the mouth or whatever you need to do. But yeah, it would be really tough unless we both had microphones and we could talk to one another, But
well, we can make that happen.
Yeah, I'm sure you can, But and I feel bad for the kids. I really do. I feel bad for the different businesses that are struggling at this time, and people should appreciate more of what you're trying to do and getting that word out and everything else. With I like that sign you have behind you. We miss sports. I think everybody does. I'm definitely one. So and that's why you could see The Last Dance is getting 55 million people to watch it on a Sunday.
Yeah, if they get 55, imagine what we get with one with you and Leslie.
You get about 5.
One of the things that people have been asking about, obviously, we get in the last 2 years, we've had over 100,000 people tune in for the NABF World Series on YSN at Cene Park. Your feeling towards the NABF and other tournaments you may have at Cene Park, are they pretty much done? Do you have a feeling one way or the other?
Well, I think they're really in jeopardy right now. I think, we were supposed to have what we were calling the East Central Showcase Series, which was going to be phenomenal for these kids. It was going to be the first week of June. It was going to be a 5-game guarantee, and they were just going to play 5 games. There was not going to be a champion, a runner-up, or anything like that. And we were just going to try to showcase these kids to scouts. And we had Prep Baseball Report behind us. They were gonna blast out media, do all kind of marketing, and we have to cancel that. And we always have a Midwest Challenge tournament, which has been really successful for the park and for the league. And we've had to cancel that. Now the NABF tournaments are now more in July. I mean, they're really in jeopardy right now. I all depending on what the governor, comes up with. If we're able to get back and playing by mid-June, you could possibly see us play some tournaments. But if we have to wait until beginning of July, I got a feeling our 10 franchise holders are going to want to play the league and play the league only. Because, we have a league. You've been around. We have a league that's much different than a lot of leagues. Our coach's number one goal is to win that league. They're not worried about tournaments. They want to win the league. They want to be as competitive as possible and go from there.
So I guess my question is about the NABF. You saw Little League World Series cancel yesterday. You have teams coming in from Canada, from Mexico, from all different states and countries right here into Struthers, Ohio. Do you feel that it's fair to keep those teams out to just play teams nationally or even locally for an NABF World Series?
I don't feel that's fair at all. I really don't. I'm definitely a guy. We have a lot of New York teams, and you know what they're going through. We have a lot of Michigan teams, and you see what that state's going through. So it's going to be really tough for us. The other one is, Little League came out and said that, but they're still hopeful for a regular season, and that's really good because that 12-year-old year for a kid, it could be the most exciting year that they play baseball. And we need to keep these kids playing baseball, and this is not helping anything. But for that being said, I think you're going to see a lot of other ones follow. I know I am blessed enough to be the coach for the Pony All-Star team that went to the World Series last year. Was excited about this year. Had a group of kids that I knew that were going to be 14 we had a really good shot of playing well there. I think you're going to see them follow next. I really do. Talking to a lot of their higher ups at the Pony National headquarters, I think you're going to see that they're probably going to do away with their World Series also.
So the final question I have for you, Class B, Plan B, you guys always have a summer season. There's a little bit of nothing there, kind of to reconstruct yourself, get a little rest and a little R&R, and then there's fall season. If this thing goes the way that it's starting to go, it just keeps pushing longer and longer and longer. Do we see a little bit more seriousness towards the fall? And do you think you'll be able to compete with football?
Well, that's a great question. When you say, do we have a plan B? DJ, I could probably tell you that we have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan E. There's a lot of plans. And trust me, anybody you talk to in our league has a different plan. So it's difficult. It's really difficult, but it's going to come down to the 10 franchise holders and what they feel is most beneficial to the kids. And we're definitely going to err on the side of caution. We are not going to be that league out there that puts their kids out there and God forbid something happens. We are a privately held park, but we have to abide by the rules of any city park. So it's going to really come down to Governor DeWine. And, I'm hopeful. I'm an optimist. So I'm hopeful to see something. I think realistically, possibly we could start a regular season sometime in July. Now, but the social distancing issue could come into effect. If they're able to possibly ease that a little bit, I think you could see that we could start a season in July and probably play into mid-August, and have to fight for the football kids, if they have football. Yeah, I think there's so many what ifs out there. We really don't know. I mean, I think I'm in the same boat as you and everybody else that really wish this whole thing would go away. But we have to do what we have to do to go on.
Scott, one of the last things I'll ask is essentially, if there's no baseball this summer at Cene Park, what are you going to miss the most personally?
I'm just going to miss being there, being around so many people that I have seen. Some of them I've seen, 10 to 12 years, depending on how many kids that they come through, and just miss being with my players. As a manager, I came into this year very excited about the team that we put together. Had a great winter, had a great fall, just really ready to compete. And but like I said, just being around Bob Cene Park and the atmosphere there, and just seeing the different people, and going to the championship game on an 18-year-old level, and it's 1-0, 22 strikeouts combined with 2 kids going Division I, whatever it is. I just miss the baseball aspect and being around so many great people that are throughout this community, Western Pennsylvania, everything else. That's probably will be my biggest loss of this summer if we do not have baseball.
Scotty, thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by, and obviously when we do have baseball at Cene Park, it will be on YSN. So thank you for that as well.
Well, thank you, DJ, and you keep doing what you're doing, because you don't know it, but a lot of people really, really appreciate what you're doing.
Thanks, buddy, and welcome Springfield to YSN. And I know that's been bugging you for a while.
I'm Tigers.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.